Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. So, David Moyes, eventually, wants to become the Scotland manager. I've got it on my phone. I'll read out exactly what he said word for word, and we'll get onto it in just a minute. This popped up on the One Football app, came up on my phone at the start of the week, but I wasn't feeling too well, so I just missed it. I thought I'd do it eventually. So I'm doing that today. Tomorrow I've got the transfer rumour show. The Pink Book is back. There's loads of transfer rumours. Struggling to keep up with them. As always, I'm dismissing most of them as I see them. I think, yeah, whatever. But tomorrow we'll talk about transfer rumours. And the kits came out this week, didn't they? The new home kit come out officially, and I like it. I really like it. It's sort of based on the Di Canio volley kit. Tongue twister, that one. And I like it. I like that strip. I like this strip as well. And the away kit came out unofficially. And it's all right. I know people don't like the sponsor thing, but I get it. You know, sponsors pay big money. They're going to want their logo to stand out, aren't they? So I'm not too bothered. I'm not too bothered by the kits, though. I say it every year. I don't get overly excited and I don't get upset by it. I'm just very meh because it's a strip. It's an item of clothing you wear to play football. No one gets any bonus points for the nicest looking kit, do they? So it is what it is. And if I like it, happy days. And I happen to like the home one. I think the home one's really, really nice, actually. But anyway, back to the matter in hand. David Moyes eventually wants to become the Scotland manager. And I found this interesting because he's always spoken about the future of West Ham. He's always spoken about the long-term plan for West Ham. He wants this set up, he wants that set up, he wants to do this. But he's never really spoken about his own personal ambition. We've always just assumed, and I think correctly, by the way, that he just sees himself as the West Ham manager long term. He's got a 3-year contract. He's just signed a 3-year contract. So, minimum is he expects to be here for the next 3 seasons. But I think for the first time, we've got an indication of what may lie ahead for David Moyes. He's spoken about an ambition to manage Scotland for the first time, as far as I'm aware, in his career. Because previously he was obviously at Everton, went to Manchester United, had a little bit of up and down in his career with the likes of Sunderland and Real Sociedad. Then he's come here, and for the first time in a few years now, he's got a bit of stability and perhaps a platform to push him to go on to become the Scotland manager. But at no point in between have I ever heard of him wishing to lead the Tartan Army. And I just thought it was interesting. I'll read it to you in just a minute, but I'm reading it off the app that sponsors us, so that was a good time to tell you about the sponsor, One Football. The link is in the description and the pinned comments of this video, as always. It's completely free. And this is one of the benefits for having it, because like I said, I wasn't feeling too good. I had a few days in bed at the start of the week, and the notifications come through in One Football, and this one caught my attention. You don't get a notification for everything either. It's only the big headlines, the juicy headlines that you sign up to, that you decide you want. They send it to you, swipe it brings you straight to the article. Happy days, no messing about. So get it downloaded, favourite West Ham, turn your notifications on, and any big headlines for the Hammers, One Football will notify you. They're quite kind like that, and they're extra kind because the app is free. Get downloaded. But anyway, Moyes told BBC Scotland, he got asked, do you have ambition to become the Scotland manager? And this was his answer. His answer was, yes, I have it now. I have come to a place in my career where I really enjoy being a club coach and feel I still have things that I need to achieve. But I'm thinking of the right time when things are right for me, and then if Scotland arrives, I will take it into consideration. And I just thought it was interesting because, like I said at the start, it's the first time he's spoken about his own personal goals and ambitions, and certainly the first time he's spoken about them away from West Ham. And for what it's worth, I often assume you don't need to put disclaimers in these videos. I often assume people will just use what I would suggest is common sense. I just assume people know what I mean. But for clarity, I don't think David Moyes is leaving West Ham anytime soon. For clarity, I don't think he's leaving for the Scotland manager's job. However, I do think perhaps at the end of his contract, he may, should the Scotland job be there, wish to take it. And I think he would be a really good Scotland manager, actually. I'll deal with that one first. Why I think he'd be a good Scotland manager. Because I think some managers do better in some situations than others. Pep Guardiola arguably needs the big checkbook. We haven't seen him do it at a club with not massive amount of money to spend. He's always done it with massive amount of money, but he does it well. And I think sometimes people use that as a stick to beat him. I think it takes a certain type of manager to work well in that environment. We've seen other managers with loads of money to spend, and they almost just waste it. They struggle. They don't know what to do with it. Pellegrini at West Ham is probably a good example for that. He had 100 million to spend, and it was almost like too much for him. His successful signings, Pellegrini's successful signings, and before someone's he has had some. Fabianski 7 million, Fornals 20 million, Diop 20 million. Diop's not the best player in the world, but he's decent. Balbuena 4 million. It's these big money ones that actually let him down. Anderson 42 million, Sebastian Haller 45 million. It's when he had too much money to spend, he struggled almost. Sean Dyche at Burnley is the complete opposite end of the scale. He does superb. He does fantastic. But I do wonder if he would do just as well if you gave him loads of money to spend. If you gave Sean Dyche 6 £20 million players, would he cope as well? Would Burnley be successful? I am not so sure. I don't know. I think Sean Dyche thrives under the low budget. It allows him, it justifies Sean Dyche playing the type of football he does, because it's like, well, I have to play like this because look at my threadbare squad, look at my cheaply assembled squad, this is all I can do, and he gets away with it. It's allowed. As a neutral, we look at it and go, he's doing a fantastic job over there with very little money to spend. The football's not the best to watch, but it's because he's got no money to spend. I think Moyes falls more into the Sean Dyche category for me. This part will not be too popular, but I'm going to stick with it. His football's not always entertaining, David Moyes. Even last season, we got fantastic results, we had a fantastic end, but there were some games, it was a tough watch. We were clinging on by a goal against a team that were near the bottom of the table. We were defending our box and kicking it away, so on and so forth. And I'm aware you need to do that. I'm aware it's about grinding out the results, and again, that is something that's to be admired, because the West Ham of old wouldn't have been able to do it. However, I just didn't find it that entertaining at times, and this is why I think Moyes would be successful with Scotland, because when it comes to international football, I think it's on par with playing in the FA Cup, playing in the League Cup, the Europa League when we've got it, pretty much everything but the league. All the cup competitions is, for me, solely about one thing: results. It doesn't matter how you get there, if it's 1-0 or 5-0, it doesn't make a difference. The end result's the same. You go through, you proceed to the next round. There is no such thing. Group stages apart, there's no such thing as goal difference or anything like that. It's all about getting through to the next round. As long as you're in the next round, you've done your job. But when it comes to the league, when it comes to Premier League, 38 games, yes, it's about results, but also I think there's an element of entertainment there. There's an element of trying to entertain the paying fan, trying to play attacking football, attractive football. Graham Potter at Brighton is the example of this. Doesn't always get the results, but they're good to watch. The fans enjoy watching them. They might not win every week, they might stay in the bottom half of the table, but it's enjoyable. What they see is thoroughly enjoyable. They play football the way that they feel football should be played, on the deck, passing it around, looking to get attacking football going on, so on and so forth. And they've become a bit of a meme, Brighton, the XG specialists, if you want. For those who don't know, XG is expected goals, and there's a measurement that takes what chances you get and the level of your chances, and they equate it to goals you can expect to be scored. And Brighton are always top the league for expected goals and therefore expected points because of the football they play. And I think with Scotland, I think Moyes would thrive, especially with the set of players we've got at the moment. Scotland have got a really good squad. I say good squad. They've got a good squad of players. I think we've got some really good ones and some not great ones. But I think Moyes does well, actually, without the pressures of the transfers. When he's given a squad and says, you have to work with that team, I think Moyes does well. He almost reverts to sort of Burnley Dyche a little bit and grinds results out with them. And I think he'd be really good as a Scotland manager. As for leaving West Ham, like I said, he's not leaving West Ham anytime soon. Okay, he's clearly here for the next 3 years. All goes well. He's putting stuff in place. And this is part of the reason I'm pleased about the new head of recruitment being Newman. And I'll speak about him next week. Gonzo did a video about him yesterday. I'm going to talk about it next week because, like I said, I've not been too well. And this was sort of on the first on my list, if you like. But that's an indication. I quite liked it. The one thing I like about it most is that Moyes hasn't picked him, because that was a big error that Pellegrini did with Mario Huselos, or West Ham did, by allowing Pellegrini to pick him. But Newman, you would assume that if and when Moyes goes, would remain at West Ham, and I like that. As for the international job, you've almost got to hope for David Moyes that both jobs, one finishes and one opens at the same time. And it's every possibility it does, because as the international manager, the vacancy tends to come up at the end of the campaign, the qualification campaign, whether that is at the end of the season or you fail in November. It tends to be around just before Christmas that the campaign comes to an end. And I don't think West Ham, clearly. I don't think Scotland will qualify for the next World Cup. World Cup 2022. I don't think Scotland will be there. We've got a tough qualification group. We've not got off to the best start, pardon me. And that'll put a bit of pressure on Steve Clarke, because this is one of the better squads we've had for quite a while at Scotland. We've now had a taste of our major tournament. And while we obviously did crap, we got 1 point. A lot of it, people did look at Steve Clarke and say he could have done a bit better there, mate. So he's going to have the World Cup campaign till summer 2022. And let's just say he gets a stay of execution, he gets another campaign. That's Euros, that's Euro 2024 he gets. And if he botches that up, he's definitely going to go. I don't think he'll get off with another one. But if he fails at the World Cup, fails at Euros, that would mean the Euros job becomes available in 2024. The Scotland job becomes available in 2024. Which is coincidentally at the same time that David Moyes' contract at West Ham expires. So you just never know. It's not a problem for today. It's not a problem until the summer 2024 at the earliest. But just thought it was interesting that David Moyes perhaps does feel aspirations of being the Scotland manager after all. And as a Scotland fan, I think he would do well. I think he would do really, really well at that job. But anyway, in other news, like I said, the kits are out. The club have finally confirmed today that Felipe Anderson has departed West Ham and joined Lazio only about 3 days after Lazio confirmed it. So there was obviously a delay for some legal reason. But Felipe Anderson is now officially a Lazio player. The fee is apparently around about 3 million plus 50%. I say 50%, I assume. So 50% selling clause and whatever they still owed us, and we owed them in the original transfer, which is about 10 million quid. The deal is worth to West Ham, but it's also getting his wages off the books. 5 million or something a year. He was on 100 grand, so yeah, he was on about 5.2 million. He was getting paid a year at West Ham. Decent wage. The rumours are that wage that we've just freed up for Felipe Anderson is going to be used to sort of try and get Declan Rice to sign a new contract at West Ham as that goes on. The Jesse Lingard is still ongoing. I'm going to try and avoid the Lingard thing in tomorrow's video because there's quite a lot of rumours to get through, but people have got a bit hopeful over not a lot. I think the photographers were told yesterday at Man United's training, photographers were told not to take pictures of Jesse Lingard, and then if you go on the Man United website now to buy next season's shirt and you click on the players' names and numbers for the back of it, Jesse Lingard is not an option. And I think people are reading too much into it. I think what I read into that is he may leave Man United. That's it. It doesn't mean it's all very well Man United being prepared to sell him, but it doesn't mean we're any more likely to meet their valuation of Jesse Lingard. There's not really a correlation between the two. Simply put, it looks like Man United are open to selling him, and that is pretty much it. I think it's nothing. I don't read anything into all that palaver with Jesse Lingard over the last 24 hours or stuff. Lots of clubs been linked to him. Atletico Madrid been linked to him quite a lot now because of Kieran Trippier possibly going to Old Trafford. Could he be used? So on and so forth. AC Milan been linked to him as well, which I'm not going to dismiss because the guy that broke the AC Milan to Jesse Lingard thing, is the same one that was involved in the Areola to West Ham news, which I'm still think is going to get done. And he was involved in Balbuena leaving West Ham. He's involved in Said Benrahma last summer. So the guy's clearly a decent journalist, but he's saying that AC Milan want Jesse. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. That's it from me. Yeah, get the One Football app downloaded. Links in the description and pinned comments. David Moyes, Scotland manager. Hopefully, I'm not going to lie, as a Scotland fan, I would love to see that one day. I think he would do quite well with us. Tomorrow, transfer rumours, and I'll have a video for Sunday, and then Monday, I think, will be the head of recruitment video as well. So anyway, take care, enjoy your weekend, you lot, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're around here, I'll catch you tomorrow.